What is going on, everybody? Welcome back, Dudes Who Bet Daily, January 15th, 2023, Wild Card Weekend Sunday. Got 3 games on the slate today, so I don't have to wait until 4:30 to be a degenerate. Life is good, at least better than Brendan Staley's. What do you think of that game last night, Aaron?
Well, I'm glad I teased that game up. I could enjoy it because it was an epic Chargers meltdown. I told you guys it was 27-0. I was like, I'm going to turn it over to the hockey. I switched over to ESPN. I was kind of just looking for it, and it was 27-13. And I said, I better watch this because they can blow this. I have no doubt they can blow this. They get a field goal, and you're like, that's a huge field goal. And it was almost the feeling of, well, surely they can hold on now. Nope. Couple quick plays. It's 30-20, just like that. It's like, yeah, they're going to lose. I knew from that point they were going to lose the game.
23 passing plays, 8 rushes in the second half when you go in with a 20-point lead, Papa Dude. That's not great coaching.
No.
Kicks 4 field goals, 2 from inside the 10, and 1 to make a two-score game. And then punts on the first possession on 4th and short as well in the second half. What happened to Brandon Staley being aggressive? Where'd this go?
I don't know. It went against everything he does. I really feel sorry for the Charger fans, all 3 of them, because there's hardly any Chargers fans. You know, this was just ridiculous. It's just, I mean, to blow a 27-point lead to a team that's not very good and to lose to a quarterback who threw 4 interceptions in the first half, and you lose the game with a team with that much talent. I just don't know what you do about any of it. And some of this blame has got to be on the players also. It's not just him. Come on. They choked. And you got to sit Bosa down and say, what in the hell are you doing?
Well, I think that was one of those defining moments. When Bosa throws his helmet, Staley picks it up and gives it to him. And he chucks it again. Just shows you the respect he has for Staley as well.
Absolutely.
You should be scared shitless of your coach in that spot. You just committed a 15-yard penalty at a massive spot in the game. Yeah. And you have such little care that you just throw your helmet again?
Yeah, that's unbelievable. It's totally out of control, which is what they are. And that's why they can't win these games.
Props to Peterson, who I thought his play call on 4th and 1 was phenomenal. Everyone in the stadium thought he was sneaking it with those 3 running backs in the backfield. And to run ETN around the edge, I thought was a phenomenal play call in a great spot. You got him. He obviously made the Philly special call, which was a risky move in the Super Bowl. That was another one where if that doesn't work, he's getting questioned constantly about why you ran that ball outside. So I thought that was a great play call there from Peterson. Haven't seen the Chiefs-Jags line yet because we don't know what's going to happen today. Obviously, you need both Buffalo and Cincy to win to set that up. But, Aaron, do the Jags have any shot against the Chiefs, or is this run over?
Nope, no shot.
I'm interested to see what that opens. I'm guessing it's going to be over a touchdown, one of those teaser ranges where if you like the Chiefs, teasing them early in the week might be the best thing you can do there to kind of get a little bit better of a number. Speaking of better numbers, this Bills number's got a little bit out of hand now. It's 13.5, 14, or 14.5, depending on where you are playing. This one just keeps going in one direction. You've got close to 80%, 85% of the bets on the Bills, 89% of the money in a lot of spots. Are you willing to lay the 14 here, Aaron? I was okay with 13. I'm getting a little gun shy here at 14.
Yeah, you almost want to because it's like this Dolphins team, there's just no way, right? But at the same time, it's a playoff game, and 14 points is a lot. I just decided to totally stay away from this one way or the other. If you made me pick, I would still take the Bills minus the 14. But to me, I know it's the early game, and people feel like they got to bet it. Go bet Gulfstream, go bet Aqueduct, go bet Oaklawn until this 3:30 game starts, because this game is just like the Bills minus 14. It should come in that way, but boy, in the playoffs, you just never know. I would hate to try to lay that number for anything big.
Yeah, if I was looking to play this game, I mean, the Bills' first half over last I saw was sitting at 14.5. It still is, but it's juiced up to minus 165. You can get Josh Allen over a touchdown and a half, Papa Dude, but that's 180 from a juice perspective. That would have been my best bet if it was lower. Did you see anything here in this game you like, or are you just going to stay away?
Oh boy, I don't. They should dominate this game. They should. The problem with Miami is how can they score? They're going to have to give them points. And I think the Bills are too smart for that. They'll have to just self-implode. I think I just keep, I keep harking back to the Titans Jags at the end of the season, that final game. What chance did Tennessee have to move the ball? They just didn't really. I think Skylar Thompson may be a little bit better than who the Titans had, but I just can't see that Miami being able to move the ball with Skylar Thompson. I just can't see it.
Pretty wild. Miami Dolphins first quarter point total is 0.5 for the over-under. Yeah. It's juiced heavy to the under. That kind of tells you what's going on here in this game, because it's not even a field goal in the first quarter for Miami. The first half total 7.5, juiced heavy to the under as well. It's going to be interesting to watch. I may play this one in game and see if Buffalo comes out hot and Miami just looks awful. Look, the back door is something people are worried about in these 14-point games. Skylar Thompson closes the back door on himself. I mean, he's not the quarterback you want trying to drive down and get you a backdoor cover.
Do you think that team total might be a little high because Miami may not score much?
Which one, the Buffalo or Miami's?
No, I'm talking about the total, the 43.5. Yeah.
You remember that Georgia game that we just watched on Monday?
That's true. Yeah.
See, that's the problem with the total. The Bills could get there. And I just keep thinking the Dolphins have Tyreek Hill. They have Waddle. They've got a good running game. They've got a nice tight end. God, if Thompson could just make a couple plays, but the Dolphins can score. I mean, they've got dangerous weapons. It's just this kid has made no plays this year. Maybe they devise a couple trick plays or something to get him on the board. See, I lean toward the over here because of what Somich just said. I think the Bills have got to score. And you got to think short fields, turnovers, like those things can happen too for the Bills to get up there and maybe they get 38 themselves,
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, one thing that I wanted to take a peek at, and unfortunately it's not listed, I was wondering if you'd get a total rushing yards for Tyreek Hill. I wouldn't be shocked if they get him involved in the running game on ends arounds, things like that, just to try and get the ball in his hands, to try and make something happen. McDaniel was the running coordinator in San Francisco. They were very creative with how they ran the football. So be interested to see how the Dolphins try and move the ball downfield. The only way this thing stays close is if Allen throws red zone interceptions, which is something he has done this year. Yeah. But they need to end possessions and with turnovers, and Buffalo's going to move the football, so it's probably going to have to be deep in their own territory if they're able to pull it off.
Yeah.
So it sounds like, we're all pretty lukewarm on this one. I would lay the 14 with the Bills if I was going to bet the game, but for me, it's a little tough. You might want to lay the 9 in the first half versus the full 14, but I just don't feel like Miami's really that team that's going to fly back in the second half. So I'd rather lay the full number, see what happens. The way to do this was to bet this early in the week, right? I mean, you could get -9 at one point, -13 as late as yesterday. Those look like great numbers now.
Yeah, I would take -9 in a heartbeat.
Let's move over to the game that has the most money coming in right now. The Giants now +2.5 at Minnesota, who's -2.5. Total sitting at 48.5 in this game. Interesting spot. We saw this game on Christmas. The Giants moved the ball up and down the field, had a blocked punt and 2 turnovers in the fourth quarter, which allowed the Vikings to come back, which is what the Vikings do. They're pretty darn good at home. Only lost once this year at home. What are you doing with this one, Aaron?
This is an impossible one. The Vikings aren't quite as bad as the Chargers, but they're not very reliable whatsoever. I just keep going back to the fact I think that Vikings roster is a little bit better than the Giants, and that's what it's going to come down for to me. I didn't make this my best bet, but I thought about it. I think the Vikings win this thing. I think 2.5 is very reasonable. I am going to go Vikings -2.5 here. Not going to be shocked either way. I do think it's going to be a 4-quarter game. In the end, like I said, I just think the Vikings have a little bit more talent. They get it done here.
Yeah, the Vikings' injuries on the offensive line, a big concern for me. They're missing 2 of their backups, not their starters, but their backups who are hurt. The Giants are probably as healthy as they've been all year, Papa Dude.
Yeah.
I think you got the coaching edge on the Giants side, which we saw how much that mattered yesterday.
Yeah.
Do you think the Giants able to pull this one out? And would you take the money line or the plus points? Which would you look at there if you're going to play the Giants?
I think I would have to take the plus 2.5. I think. Because the line is only 2.5. I'm going to go ahead and stick with the Vikings. If it was 3.5, 4.5, I'd have to consider that because I can see this 20-17, 24-21, real easy. That 2.5, So I'm going to go with the Vikings. I think they're a little bit better. They are at home. I think they'll be able to move the ball on the Giants. So I'm going to go because that line is right there at 2.5. Like I say, 3.5, I think I'd have to take the Giants. I think this is going to be a good game. I'm going to go the Vikings 2.5. What time is this one on?
This is the second game of the day. I think it's like 4:25 kickoff, somewhere right around there. I'm going to take the Giants on the money line. I think they get it done against a banged-up Vikings team. I kind of like the over in this spot, too. The problem for me is Kirk Cousins. If he starts getting pressure, he becomes a very different quarterback, but they have the better weapons on the outside, the better running back. But if I'm going to play this game, I'm taking Giants money line. I actually like teasing the Giants up to plus 8.5 and teasing the Bengals down to minus 2.5 if I was going to play this one, because I think that's a good way to get the Bengals under a field goal and the Giants over a touchdown. So that would be how I'd attack this if I didn't have money on it already. Any props you guys like? Anyone in here you think is going to have a big game?
Well, I know you have one, so I'm not going to steal yours.
Yeah.
But I like one of yours, so you're going to talk about it.
No, we'll just wait.
All right. Yeah. My best bet is going to come from this game, going back to the prop world after probably the easiest cover of my life with Deebo Samuels going over 12.5 points or 12.5 yards rushing with 11 minutes left in the first quarter. That was kind of fun. All right, let's head over to the Bengals and the Ravens. The Bengals back to laying 8.5. This one got up to 10 at one point. We weren't sure who was going to play quarterback. Now it sounds like we're going to get a little bit of both Hundley and Brown in this game as they're both going to take some snaps. Bengals got up to 11-point favorites here in week 18, just missed, or 11.5-point favorites, just missed the cover, won by 11 in the game that decided where this one was going to be played. Papa Dude, you back on the Bengals today, or you think this Ravens defense shows up?
Yeah, I like the Bengals a lot. I just don't think the Ravens are going to be good enough to win. I might take the Bengals at 8.5 if Lamar was playing. I really like them. I do. The one thing about the Ravens, they're going to play hard. They always do. And that's tricky because they can figure out a way sometimes to keep a game close. If Burrow has one of those games where he doesn't play very well, but if all things go to form, I like the Bengals. Aaron, I thought this was your best bet.
It is. You just stole my thunder.
Okay.
All right, Aaron, who do you like here?
Well, my best bet of the day is going to be the Bengals minus the 8.5. Listen, you got two quarterbacks, you got no quarterbacks. That's the old adage, and we've seen it play out. Like the Ravens are not as good with either one of these guys in there, Brown or Huntley. But the big thing for me is I just think the Bengals have got this thing figured out. They closed the season so well, and I've said it 100 times on this show, I really think they're getting ready to beat the Bills that night. When that unfortunate thing happened to Damar Hamlin. But I just think they're better. And I'm kind of with Papa Dude. I would be much more hesitant, and the line would not be 8.5 if Lamar was playing. But I just think the Bengals are the better team. And I think they're way better. I think they get it done here. And then you kind of get that big matchup with the Bills coming up next week, hopefully. I've got to go Bengals minus 8.5 here. I like it.
Yeah, I'm on Bengals teasers. 8.5 scares me a little bit. That's why I didn't end up playing anything there. Finally won the first at Gulfstream. That feels good.
Me too.
Yeah, that's my tournament horse. I'm happy. I agree with it that like I think the Bengals probably the better side here. I actually like the under the most in this game. At the 40.5, I think is a little bit high. This just feels like that NFC North game, right? Where it's going to be 17-10. Maybe 17-7 if you want to get that cover in there. Joe Burrow's two worst passing games from a yards per completion perspective, both against the Ravens this year. So I think this game stays under the 40.5 total, and I got Bengals in the teasers there. All right, let's head over to the hardwood here. Rockets and the Clippers, baby. Marquee matchup here. Rockets have dropped 9 straight. Clippers at home. Didn't really play well the other night, but we kind of called that one against the Nuggets. Papa Dude, we'll start with you here. Who you like, Rockets or Clippers?
Oh boy, the Clippers should win this thing easy. I don't trust them. I don't trust them. I never have. The Rockets are abysmal. Is this the last game of a road trip for them? I think it is. It seems like they've been out there a while because they've been in Sacramento twice. They played up there twice, right?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, and you took advantage of that. I was looking at some things I look at this morning. A lot of people are saying this is the best bet of the day in the NBA to take the Clippers -9.5. I think you have to. The Rockets are just playing awful.
Yeah, I bet this one already. I bet the Clippers laying the 9.5. The Rockets are on a 9-game losing streak. Only one of those 9 games have they kept under 10 points. That was at home against the Timberwolves. They're not good. They get blown out a lot. I like the Clippers here. If they play defense, which they can, that's the one thing Clippers are good at. It should really stunt the Rockets' ability to score. Aaron, any thoughts on this one?
Man, I thought for sure the Clippers would be your best bet. I stayed away from it, thinking he will definitely take the Clippers. Somich, it's the same number.
I know.
Yes.
The difference is the Kings can score in bunches, and that's why I like that one. I could see the Clippers winning by 7 or 8 here, and that's why I didn't make this my best bet. But I do think this line should be 12, which is what I felt the way in those Kings games. They won by 20 in both of them. So I did bet this one. I bet the Clippers -9.5, but didn't make it my best bet.
Clippers, big tonight. 20+ Clippers.
All right, let's head out to one that I was absolutely baffled by. So we're going to let Aaron take this over. He almost made the Thunder +5 his best bet. And now I don't disagree that it might be the right side, but to say this is your best bet of the day is the Thunder heading in the Nets is mind-boggling to me. Talk about it.
Why not? Why would it not be?
Because the Nets are significantly better team.
No, Durant is out. That's
Correct.
Number one. So that evens it up a lot. The Thunder, they won in Chicago. They won in Philadelphia. They did lose in Miami, but they lost by 1 point. So they could have covered, or they did cover, I should say. They beat Dallas the other night. They beat Washington the other night. This team at +5 tonight, I think you got to take the Thunder. I think they're on a roll. They're playing great. Forget about the record. They're 20-23. Like 8 of those losses were close. They could have won them. Well, I'll take a close loss tonight. Thunder +5. I like it tonight. Almost made it my best bet. You guys talked me out of it. So if they do cover, it's your fault.
Well, just hit Cincinnati, and then it doesn't matter. This one's a hard pass for me. I have no interest in playing this game at all, Papa Dude. I don't want to watch a second of this basketball game. What do you think?
Well, I worry about the Thunder sometimes. They are playing really well, and they're fun to watch.
Yeah, they are a fun team. I'll give you
They
that.
are going to be good here before too long. They've got a shot at the playoffs. They're not that far out of it.
Especially when they win tonight.
Yeah, a huge game for them. It really is. The Nets are significantly weaker without Durant. I mean, this guy, I don't think Durant gets the credit he deserves. I mean, he's just night in, night out. He's as good as it gets. Rarely has a bad game. I just don't. The 5's just a little too small for me. If it was 7, I'd be all over it. I just, can they keep winning on the road? I don't know. That's what scares me. If it was an OKC, I'd go for it for sure. But the Nets need to win games without Durant. And this is one I think they're going to be pointing to, thinking, hey, we can get this one. We got to get it.
Nets gave Celtics a hard time without Durant. I realize
trash.
Kyrie Irving's different when Durant's not on the floor. He becomes, in my mind, a little bit better from just a playmaking perspective and scoring perspective. That's why this scares me. I'm not saying you're wrong.
No, I'm not either.
I'm just saying I have no interest in playing this game, especially when we got the Bengals game up against it. I'm not going to watch this basketball game instead of the football game. All right, let's talk a little bit about my Kings, baby. This was almost my best bet of the day as well.
Believe it.
I know. And the total tells you, the 246 tells you the Kings are going to score at will here because they love putting points on the board, got a really good offense. They struggle a little on the defensive side of the ball, and the Spurs just play up and down basketball. I would lay the 7 with the Kings here again. This is another one where I thought this was just a little bit short, but I didn't want to lay it on the road. That's why I didn't end up doing it. Papa Dude, who you got here?
Totally agree with you. Totally. Because the Spurs at times can score like crazy too, and it's probably the first game of a road trip. I haven't looked, but they've been at home. Sacramento has for quite a while. Been playing very well. First game of a road trip. Sometimes you struggle a little bit. San Antonio can score. I agree with you. At San Antonio is iffy. It's iffy.
2-0 on the Kings is the best bet this week. I didn't want to push my luck here.
That would be the other thing. Yes.
Who do you got here?
Kings big. Spurs suck.
Yeah.
They're awful. I don't remember who I was watching the other night. They're playing somebody that's like, God, they're terrible.
They can't stop anybody.
No.
It's wild to see Popovich tanking. I mean, it's just crazy to see what he had done year after year with inferior talent down there. And now you see him just blowing it up, seeing if they can get Wembanyama, see if they get that number 1 pick. All right, let's head over to the college hardwood. Props to the Halterman team yesterday, both taking Iowa State, who covered against Kansas. 62-60 there. Kansas won, but did not cover the 7.5. I think Popovich actually called that one cold there, that they would win but not cover. Marquette heading into Xavier, top 25 matchup here. Xavier laying 3.5. Look at that total. 163.5. Big number for a college hoops game. Popovich, who you got?
Both teams can shoot it, and that's why that number is up there. But that is huge for a Big East showdown like this game is. Marquette's sneaky good. Sneaky good plays. They play the same no matter where they're at. All right, here's the deal. Xavier's won 10 in a row. Are they due to lose? I wanted to pick this as my best bet. I really did. But the Big East sometimes, I just feel like they're ripe to get beat. So I couldn't do it. If I was, I would take them minus 3.5, but I couldn't make it my best bet. Everybody's picking them. They look really good. They can shoot the lights out of it. They're fun to watch. They really are.
Now this game,
so I think do what?
Go ahead.
I think they're going to win, but I just couldn't. I couldn't bring myself to bet it. I tell you, the Big East game I do think's worth betting. UConn minus 14 against St. John's. I'd take St. John's plus 14 in that game.
Is there any Ivy League today, Papa Dude?
No Ivy League today, and I'm pissed off at them. So that's the end of that.
I love how fickle we can get. This game actually already tipped off. I didn't realize this one started at 11:30. Marquette currently up 22-18. I would have laid the 3.5. I'd be interested in seeing if you get something here. I'm sorry, Xavier up 22-18. Sneaky tough place to play, Xavier. Very good home court advantage. Marquette 3-2 on the road. So if you want to take some in-game Xavier, I think that's not a bad spot to take it. I like this horse too, Rob. Good call there. Race 8, Fire and Spice, I think has a good shot there. All right, it looks like Aaron taking Xavier as well. All right, let's jump over to the race of the day, the La Cañada Stakes out from Santa Anita. 6 horses, 2 Baffords. Really weak graded stakes race, to be honest with you. But hey, it was the only graded stakes we had in the card. Aaron, who you got here?
I hate this race. Let me just say that right off the bat. I can't stand this race. I'm really getting sick of these races at Santa Anita where there's 6 horses and 5 Baffords, and you got to guess which one is going to do what. So I don't like it. I did go number 3 Ganadora on top here. I think she's going to run better than she did last time out. I think she's going to get a lot better trip in this one today. So I am going to lean on number 3 Ganadora and Baffert. It's a weird race, though. I don't think you said it. I don't think any of these horses are any good. But, I think one of the Baffords will probably pop. I probably picked the wrong one, but I'm going to go with the 3.
If I took a Baffert, I'd probably take Under the Stars at the prices listed. The morning line for this race seems wild to me. Kristen Bosch on the inside 5-2 was 30-something to 1 last time. And now you're supposed to take 5-2. Under the Stars should be the favorite in this race. I have no idea why Ganondora is. Under the Stars beat her 2 back. Is the better horse at a mile and 16th and more proven at this point. Now, I realize Ganondora has the speed, so that's an edge, but there is another speed horse in this race that should push the pace a little bit early, and Ganondora faded badly going a mile and 16th last time. Little interested in the 5, just a little bit, but I'm not sure how far back we're going to be with Natural Color, who's never touched the dirt. That's the obvious concern there, but Pratt takes them out. If this race collapses, I think that's a bet. I'm going to play a cold 6-5 exact here. Give me Under the Stars over Natural Color. Try and get a little bit of a price in the second spot. If Under the Stars 5-2, I think that's a good bet. That horse should be 6-5, 7-5 in this spot, though, right, Aaron?
No, I don't think so.
No?
I don't like
Maybe
that.
5-2. Papa, who do you like here?
All right. We got Lightning Larry home yesterday.
You did. Hopefully someone hit that try. Because you both had Lightning Larry on top. The 7 was the long shot. The 2 ran third. The other one we picked. So hopefully someone got a piece of that try.
Yeah. I'm going Under the Stars in this one. Under the Stars and whatever the one Aaron picked. Ganadora. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yep.
That's my second pick. And I like number 1 as my third pick.
This Under the Stars love is crazy. Flavien Prat was on this horse last time out and jumped to a horse that's never ran on the dirt before.
I like the name.
To be fair, you picked the 5, Somich, but I don't get the love for the 6.
But the efforts at a mile 16th it's like the only horse that has legit efforts at a mile 16th.
Fair, yeah.
And so and if I look at Ganondorf and I'm like, okay, well, let's see. We've gone mile 16th once. We set a pace, which you're going to have probably set this time too, 47-1, not crazy fast for Santa Anita. Loses by 12 to Under the Stars. Like, it just, to me, the distance is, that's why I like the 5 too. You could have some serious stumble bunnies coming home down the lane, and I at least know the 5 can run that distance. It's done on turf, but at least I know she can get that distance.
I don't know. I think Under Stars can win the race, but I'm not buying that she should be 6-5. I guess that's where I'm at, So
do you want to do a tequila bet for who goes off the favorite? I'll get Under the Stars. You can have Ganondorf. Anyone else we push?
No, I'm not going to do it.
Come on.
Because you always win these, but I'm telling you, Velasquez aboard the other Baffert with the 3. I think that's usually where the money ends up going.
I hear you. I mean, Hernandez has ridden Under the Stars 3 times before, including a win at a mile 16th. So it's not like, it's not like they're going to someone who's just a donkey, right?
Right. No. Yeah, I agree. And it could get close. I don't think she deserves to be 6-5 in the spot. I really don't.
6-5 might be aggressive. I think she's the 8-5 favorite.
Okay. Well, we'll see. That'll be a fun little text chain when that happens.
All right, we'll go to best bets of the day. We already know Aaron taking the Bengals -8.5. I'm going to play football. I'm going to go to a rushing over total again. Watching those games yesterday, I remembered all the quarterbacks run in the playoffs. All 4 went over their rushing prop yesterday. I think Daniel Jones does it today. He has had 2 games with 10-plus carries in his last 3. He got 38 yards last time they faced the Vikings here on 4 carries. I think he gets significantly more than 4, especially if they try and stop Saquon, which is going to be one of the keys for this Vikings defense. I think you're going to see him keep that read option a couple times. And if the Vikings bring pressure and play man behind it, Jones is going to scramble and run on a couple of these as well. So I think he goes over the 40.5 rushing yards today. So give me Daniel Jones over 40.5 rushing as my best bet of the day. Hopefully we can close out the week 5-0 on those. All right, Papa Dude, give us some pucks. There's a reason we didn't cover NHL today.
Well, here's the thing. Sometimes you get tossed what looks like is a freebie. There's only 3 games on the slate today in the NHL, and you got heavy favorites at home in all 3 games. And we're getting plus 128 on a 3-team parlay. Now, we know there's a jillion things that can go wrong. And so it's never a given, but I think you have to take advantage of a situation when you have this. So you got the Canucks at Carolina. Both teams played last night. 2 major differences. Carolina won at home. Vancouver played great in Florida and lost. So they got to travel up there today to play Carolina. Advantage Hurricanes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Got to be. Plus, they're better. Canadians played last night, lost in Long Island to the Islanders 2-1. Tough loss. They got to go across the way and play the Rangers today, a very good hockey team that did not play last night, which means their number 1 goalie, who is lights out, is going to play today. Advantage Rangers. Not even close. And then you got the Coyotes, who's lost $1 million in a row. Oh, yeah, they played last night and lost. And they go to Winnipeg. And guess what? Who's the better team there? It's not even close. Winnipeg. And they didn't play last night. We're getting plus money on these 3. You got to take it, right?
Yep.
Now, who wants to bet which one is going to blow it?
I'm going to go with the Rangers. Here's why. They play tomorrow. So they may not start Shesterkin against the Canadians. They may end up going with their backup today and starting Shesterkin, but they play the Blue Jackets tomorrow. So it's not like that's a tough opponent either.
Yeah, right.
So you can easily start them in either game. That would be the one flaw I see in your logic. Other than that, I agree with you. When you get 3 home teams like this, clearly the better squad, you'd be surprised if any of them lose. Be a little concerned about the Jets, too, because they just sometimes throw clunkers in there. Right, Aaron?
They do.
Well, I can't fault the logic though. This is three heavy favorites that should win without any doubt. I like it. I like the plus money. It's funny, you guys mentioned the Rangers. You guys mentioned Winnipeg. I'm a little worried about the Hurricanes because this Canucks team has major talent at forward.
They do.
They're really good, and they might jump out to a lead and kind of bury them a little bit. They've done that to teams before. They also could lose like 6-2 because they have no defense. They have no goalie. So that's going to be the key. As long as they keep them off the scoreboard early, I think Carolina gets the lead, and then they're in trouble. But they can score, so they're my worry.
If I set the shot line, Carolina minus 11.5 shots, more shots than Vancouver.
Oh, yeah.
Which side would you take? Because Carolina, the lowest shots on goal against in the NHL, and the defense is just awful on Vancouver's side.
Yeah.
Carolina's going to pepper this net. Now, let me tell you, that doesn't always work out. But
there's a big difference. The night you lost when you played them and they got like 100 shots, they were facing a very good goalie. This Vancouver squad, they are struggling in net big time.
Yeah. All right. I agree with you, Papa Dude. This one looks awfully good. I'm not sure who's going to blow it, but man.
Oh, I know. It's too good. It
has the feel of somebody will blow it for sure.
I'm looking forward to texting Papa Dude around 7:30 after he's watching the shootout between two.
I just hope if one of them loses, it's the first one, so I don't have to worry about the last two. You know.
All right, there you go.
Yeah.
At least the Jets game starts at 7. We got no late games here, Papa Dude. I do appreciate that.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, let's run through the best bets of the day. Get out of here so you can go check out Gulfstream Park, Aqueduct, Tampa Bay Downs, Oaklawn Park, and the Bills-Dolphins game where my Dolphins are going to try and shock the world. They're going to lose. All right, Papa Dude, best bet. Hurricane, Rangers, Jets, money line plus 128. Aaron going with the Bengals, minus 8.5. I'm taking Daniel Jones's legs, going over 40.5 rushing yards for the week, 7 and 8, up $30. Let's finish strong. Thank you very much for joining us, everybody. We will see you back on Wednesday for best bets from the sports and horse racing world.